Ba-da-ba-bum-bow. Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo!
Woo.
Woo for Josh. That's
Nice.
not here once again.
Welcome in, one and all, from far and wide, to Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast, with your two finalist hosts,
hmm
Jake and Kevin. By that, I don't mean that we're like some sort of game show spinoff. I mean that we're playing each other in the finals in our league of record. If you haven't been listening to the most recent episodes, we've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah.
We're gunning into the thick of it. It's a real make it or break it weekend we're going into.
We're recording this before the Saturday games, so this is to go live Sunday morning for you guys. So still a lot of hockey left to play with the Saturday Sunday games, but it's looking pretty tight. I have an interesting goalie situation. I don't like my odds, but we'll see. It's been a hard fought battle. Jakey's used already all his ads. He used his last ad for Friday on to pick up Martone, who I know has been a topic of discussion in the Discord. I was debating. I did not, so I still got 2 ads left, and might have to use them on goalies just to hit my starts. So you'll have to hear it.
You want to hear something crazy?
I
so they apparently like made Martone
do.
when he started playing for the Flyers a few games ago, or I don't know, like
Was he heavier than Michkov?
maybe it was just before that. What? No, listen to this. He apparently like either started the year at like 190, and now he's 215 and lost 3% body fat. Like,
Okay, the dude just puts on muscle like it's his day job. I mean, I know it is his day job, but like still
crazy. It's actually like what an absolute tank. 215 already is kind of heavy, but like that's
how tall
like
is he?
I think 6'2", 6'3".
I mean, yeah, okay, that's a good weight for somebody that size, but I mean, that's just like that's goals right there. I dream about being able to do that for my body. What? How many months is that? A few months?
Like no, like I think it's like from like the beginning of the season. So like
okay. I thought you
September, whatever, whenever they're like. Yeah, but like still, and like that's just
I mean, yeah,
that's monstrous stuff to do in a season, you know?
People do that over like 2 years usually for like hitting the gym and stuff. Don't quote me, but I feel like that's a good range. You're putting on like 9 pounds of muscle a year. I feel like that's normal. If you're like young and like trying to.
That's it. I like 9 shots on goal. That's some powerful stuff right there. That doesn't come from not being, insanely strong and being able to impose your will on the NHL right away. Kind of like Anton Frondell, one of your all-star pickups.
I was gonna say he's no Frondell, who has the highest registered VO2 max, but listen, those shots are nice.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I didn't pick him up for that game, just to be clear, but
you picked him up right after that game. I think most people did.
I did. Yeah. Okay, so today is our Week 24 waivers episode. Speaking of good people to pick up going into next week, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. We are there. Of course, you are because you're listening on that. Anyways, you got the point. Wherever you get your podcast, we're there. Rate us 5 stars if you like what you hear. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. All the socials are in, you guessed it, the podcast description as always, and the Discord community. Want to talk about not Frondell. You want to talk about Martone?
Yeah.
That's the place to be. I think the Flyers are in and of themselves a hot topic going into the end of the season.
I mean, Columbus is kind of like choking. The Islanders are kind of choking, and Philly's just like low key just there. So I mean,
yeah.
If you guys listened to the last Mailbag episode, I think I said like I just do not see. Or it was the hot topics. Yeah, it was a hot topic. I said like I just don't see Philly even in the playoff picture. I was just because like there's no way. I mean, I know they're close, but I don't see them now. Like, listen, a week changes everything. It seems like.
Yeah, I think I had them like over Pittsburgh or something, and you had Pittsburgh, and there was like
you had Pittsburgh missing, and you had I forget. I think you had Ottawa missing. Is that possible? Or
yeah,
Philly?
Exactly. And I had Philly in, and the Islanders.
Yeah, everybody else in.
I believe that's what it was.
Oh, Detroit. I don't know. I forget.
It could have been Detroit. Yeah, it's a crazy end to the season, so we'll be here bringing you guys the content. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's start with our Week 23 choices, and I'm extremely excited about this one.
Yeah, just a little caveat though, like Week 23, obviously we're still in the midst of this. You guys are listening to this Sunday morning. We're recording this, like I said, just before the Saturday games, and all the people that we recommended for Week 23 have a back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday. So they've only played 2 games thus far. But listen, I think the 2 games have been stellar.
Yeah, they have. They have. We got Patrick Kane, 4 points in 2 games. My boy, he's been so good.
Yes, he has
I
against me. Love that.
this is truly Patrick Kane of old. Like
Hmm.
I called it. He was on a mission to make sure that the Red Wings make the playoffs, and he's just nonstop right now.
It's so fun.
All right, we got Mikhail Granlund. He got a power play point in 2 games.
Still got 2 games.
Still got 2 games, like you said, and then Pavel Zacha, 4 points in 3 games, and still got 2 games this weekend.
Yeah.
So
I put the 3 games. He's only played 2 in week 23, but that third game he played was in the Sunday of week 22, and I'm counting that because that game came out after we recorded the episode, and we said to pick up Zacha, and Zacha got 3 points that game. So listen, if you did, you probably made your semifinals or your finals, and he's already got a point this week. So 2 more games left. How many more can you get?
That puts us to 36 and 18 on the Was It a Good Pickup chart. We officially doubled our losses with wins. That was a big goal of mine. No matter what happens in the finals, at least this is a victory for us all.
I agree. I mean, listen, there's nothing more gratifying than helping other people win their fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
And losing our own.
I would say, that's it. All right.
At least that's how I feel.
So, okay, no, don't do that. You know, I feel like Josh has done this for years, where he like complains his way into a victory.
Every time somebody complains, they win. And I complained a lot yesterday that things did not go my way. And then I saw you go quiet because things were going so well for you. And then you chimed in at the end of the night when things started to go better for me.
That's it. Well, look, you pulled ahead. You're currently winning right now, so we'll see how it ends. But
not for long.
By the time the next episode comes out, you'll all the listeners, you're gonna know what happened. So
you're gonna know who's really sad because they won't be on the podcast, and who's really happy because they will be on the podcast. So that's how it's gonna go.
That's it. All right, okay. We got some 4-game teams this coming week: Boston, Islanders, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh, and Washington. So 4-game teams, that means that they are the bad teams to own because it's over a 2-week span. So, well, really 10 days.
It's like 10 days,
it starts on the Monday. Yeah, it starts on the Monday, and I believe the last games are on the following Thursday. So, these are the teams you don't want to own. Usually when we say 4-game teams, obviously it's good. So this is not that case. Though teams that you do want to own, the 7-game teams, the Seattle Kraken and San Jose Sharks. So, busy night Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. And the off night teams are the Buffalo Sabres, Seattle Kraken, and San Jose. So really San Jose and Seattle, and obviously our top 10 list definitely reflects that. So
I was gonna say, like, those heavy nights that we just mentioned, like, you'll have to go look at your matchup right now if you're listening to this and have the opportunity to go look at next week, like your week 24. Because honestly, if you're playing in week 24, it's because it's your championship. There's no other week left, right? So if you're still here, you're fighting for that chip. And those busy nights, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Monday, go look if you have to bench anybody on those days. Because if you have to bench anybody on those days, you should make a decision this weekend and decide, who am I cutting to pick up an off-night player to maximize games played. That's how you win your championships. You need some volume. You can have the best team ever. If your opponent has 10 more games on you, it's not going to matter because the volume will overpower your quality most of the time anyways. So be diligent. Go look ahead. See if you have to bench anybody in the upcoming week, and then make a decision on who's your guy you're most likely to cut and who we're going to talk about today can you pick up to maximize those off nights.
Yeah, well said. And I guess just to add to that before getting into the list, what's so great about this, San Jose and Seattle, those are the 2 teams to own. They are very much fighting for the playoffs, especially San Jose. But I would say Seattle is definitely not out of it. Like, they're still pushing.
They're both technically in. Like, in the race. Sorry, not in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So they're fighting for it, and I think they will be till the very end. Like, there are teams that maybe won't play their best players as many minutes, or let's say a lock. There are teams that are kind of out of it that maybe, as Josh has alluded to many times, just like the Florida Panthering right now.
They're still winning games and scoring goals, which makes no sense. But
I take it back. I can't call it Florida Panthersing because this is like the first time that they've ever done this. There's been many teams like this is more of like a Vegas thing in years past. But all this to say, like, San Jose and Seattle, two really spicy teams and with the best schedule. So, without further ado, let's get into our top 10 points guys under 40% owned. Starting with...
Well, I was going to say, starting with a Proface. The reason why the whole season we were saying do not have your playoff championship week 24 is because week 24, those last 10 days of the season, we see even more shenanigans happen with these NHL teams and their rosters. Like over the last few weeks, we saw with Florida, every guy that's hurt a little bit is getting held out for the rest of the season. So these next 10 days, you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see star players on the best teams in the league have bumps and bruises and be held out of the lineup, or stuff like that happen, and it's gonna really suck. And we're warning you in advance, like that's going to happen. So I say be diligent with your ads. Maybe wait to see, like on the heavy nights after some. Like I think patience will be really rewarded, because if you have injuries on your team, you're going to want to replace those guys instead of like cutting and adding somebody else. But that's why it's going to be hard to predict who's going to give you value this week, because who's even going to be in the lineup, and our deployments are going to change. So a lot of volatility around this week. We're going to do our best to give you some good options, but take everything with a little asterisk and keep that in mind.
Yes. Okay. Let's dive into it. So starting at
number 10.
At number 10 of the Colorado Avalanche, perhaps the power play one official for the next few games, Devon Toews. 6 games in week 24.
Yeah, he's got 6 games in week 24. And if you've listened to this podcast in the past, either last year or the off season, like we are certified Devon Toews haters. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like we always say he's too high rostered. I think the only leagues that he has some value in are like plus minus leagues, which hopefully you're not playing in the plus minus league. But the main reason why he's on this list and he's number 10 is because, listen, if you can add a defenseman that can be valuable for you in fantasy, that's already a rare commodity. One that's going to be on a power play 1 for Colorado. I know they have the worst power play, but it's actually been pretty decent as of late. Then you got to keep your eye on this.
Ever since they got Devon Toews on their
I mean, listen, we were hoping it was going to be Malinsky, but then, he played 1 game there and then got bumped off. He had a sick game, by the way, so if everybody picked up Malinsky, then you're pretty happy about that. But he didn't get any power play points, and now they're rocking Devon Toews as the power play 1 quarterback in Cale Makar's absence. Makar was already ruled out for the Saturday, Sunday games that are happening tonight and tomorrow. So this is just kind of like monitor the situation. The Avs are clinched for the playoffs, right? Like they don't want to risk any extra injuries or whatnot. So if Makar misses any extra time, like Devon Toews is going to be the guy in the power play 1, and that's what gives him his value. Makar comes back or they swap somebody else, then do not pick up Devon Toews, just disclaimer. But right now, that's why he's number 10 on this list, because if you get exposure to the power play, it's good.
Yeah, well said. And like, we don't hate Devon Toews because he's not a good player. It's just like with Jacob Slavin, Devon Toews is like one of the top tier defensive defensemen in the league. He doesn't get the opportunity on offense. So now that he has it, I mean, he's playing with some of the best players in the world, Natchez and company, if you will.
Yeah.
And so
Natchez and friends.
This is a good opportunity for him. Exactly. Okay, moving on to
number 9.
At number 9 of the St. Louis Blues, I actually really like this guy. I think he's a really good player. We have Philip Broberg. He's at .71 points per game over the last month. Nothing in shots, hits, or blocks. He's just like abysmal at that. But in the points category, and that's what this section is all about, he's been really good. 6 games this coming week. So.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say, I know in week 23, St. Louis players were hot commodities because they played on every single off night. So a lot of those guys were picked up, and Broberg was a big name because, he's the quote unquote power play 1 quarterback for the St. Louis team. And listen, we're adding another defenseman. I know it's the bottom of the top 10, but he's the last defenseman on this list, and I think it's worth mentioning because averaging .71 points per game over the last month is not nothing from a defenseman, especially when you're getting power play points. Over the last 2 weeks, he's been especially hot. He's been a point per game player. The thing is, no category coverage. Less than 1 shot, less than 1 hit, less than 1 block. You're getting straight zeros there. If you get 1 assist and it's a power play assist, you're happy. That's why this is really mainly for points leagues. And category leagues, I'm really not that interested. Like Jakey picked up in our matchup on Monday, we both picked up St. Louis defensemen. All of these guys were available. Jakey went Logan Mailloux, I went Colton Parayko. Broberg was just sitting there, and he did get a power play assist on Monday, but Not
Which
for
would have
either
been
of our
nice.
teams.
That would be huge for our matchup right
It
now,
would.
actually. Yeah, no, he's really just a decent player, and he's had the opportunity in the past, and he's been good. It's just the shots, hits, blocks, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go to the next one.
Number 8.
At number 8, we have Jonathan Marchessault of the Nashville Predators. He is at .86 points per game over the last month. That's actually tremendous considering the really rocky season he's had otherwise. But good to see that he's pulling things together. And yeah, his shots, like he's always been good for shots, and that's something that has changed in his game, especially over the last month. They've got 6 games this coming week. Nashville is definitely still in the playoff race, and yeah,
To
I like
to
it.
to everyone's shock, Nashville is still in the playoff race. I feel like throughout the whole season we were like, the wheels are gonna fall off. The wheels are gonna fall off. The wheels didn't fall off completely, but do I think they make the playoffs? I don't think so. But the fact that it's so close with so little games left is impressive in itself. Even though I don't think they want to win games, I don't think they think of themselves as a playoff team. Like they were selling at the deadline, so interesting. But Marchessault on the season is at like 0.5 points per game. Over the last 2 weeks, he's at 1 point per game. For the last month, he's at 0.86. So it's really like a recent turnaround over the last 30 days. But he's going to get you 2 shots and almost a point per game player with some power play points. All these guys on this list of this top 10 have either 6 games or 7 games this upcoming week. And I think Marchessault from the right wing position on a Nashville team that is still fighting for the playoffs will give you some good production.
Yeah, I almost feel like he's kind of at the exact same level as the next 2 we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's
There's definitely
I mean,
tiers.
there are reasons they're higher. So let's go to the next one, and once we get the 3, we'll kind of maybe do a little compare and contrast.
Yep.
So at
Number 7.
number 7, we have Trevor Moore. He he's one of those guys who just it kind of seems irrelevant, but then out of nowhere just goes on this crazy tear every season, and you want to pick him up. 3.47 shots on goal over the past month is crazy.
Yeah.
That's like
Those are elite
level
numbers.
stuff. 1.33 hits also. I mean, pretty good. Pretty darn good.
He'll give you some category coverage. And this shot volume is really why I think I put him ahead of Marchessault, because if I had to bet purely on points, I'd favor Marchessault. But Moore will be, I would say, like 25% less good at points than Moore, but he'll double than Marchessault, but he'll double Marchessault in shots, it feels like. Somebody that can average such a high shot volume is a rare commodity, especially one that you can pick up on waivers. LA's got 6 games this upcoming week. Like, he can get you some power play points as well. Like, he has one power play point this season, but it happened 4 games ago, so maybe the tide's turning. But it mainly is just for the, I feel like, reasonable points floor of what you can expect from him. But this shot volume is nuts, guys. On a 6-game week, like, that can be so much volume you're adding to your categories this week. And the hits are
I
nice
agree on
pair.
all fronts. I do agree on all fronts, but I think the power play point that may be a little ambitious.
I think that's where you get more puts him on the top.
He's averaging more shorthanded points than power play points this year. So could even be better for you. Exactly. Exactly. All right. The next one's kind of interesting, and I think so let's go to the next one.
Where now I forgot what your number at. Number 6.
There it is.
I had my fingers up.
All right. At number 6 of the Colorado Avalanche, we have Gabe Landeskog. He's kind of the one where I'm like, would I really rather Landeskog over Marchessault? I know the power play in Colorado does not say, like, doesn't tell the full story by any means. I'm curious kind of why you would be leaning Landeskog over Marchessault or more.
Yeah, to me, the reason why I put Landeskog higher is because I think he has a fuller profile for category leagues, because he will not only shoot, he will win faceoffs, he will hit as well. And he's been like hot-ish since coming back. Like, he's at 0.7 points per game, which is not nothing. The bad thing is, though, he lost line 1, power play 1. But if he ever got that back, either line 1 or power play 1, I think he'd be easily better than both of the guys we spoke about before. Now I think like he's better because he has the upside of getting that, which will completely like blow up his value in a good way, but also like the category coverage is a more well-rounded picture. If I had to bet on who's going to get the most points this week, I'd go Marchessault. But then I think the shots are very valuable from Moore, and I think the shots, face-off wins, hits from Landeskog is even more valuable with the points being a higher floor as well. So all these three guys
Yeah.
are definitely in the same tier, right? Like that's why they're
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
like in the middle
saying.
pack of
Yeah.
this list. They're all good options for various different reasons. So it just kind of depends. But the upside with Landeskog though is that what if Colorado has to rest some guys at the end of the season, right? What if Nate just needs a break? What if somebody else needs a break? He's the next guy up onto that power play, and I think that's why I'm putting him up high. But there's so much that can go wrong or change in this week 24 that's going to be crazy for all fantasy owners out there. So I think just because of that risk, I'm putting him up there.
So the fuller profile than the other two, I get it, like 100%. That makes him
And the
more
blocks
valuable. If
too.
you
Like don't
did,
forget the blocks.
yeah. No, I mean he's a great category coverage forward. Like
Mm-hmm.
really, he absolutely is. But it's literally the last thing that you said, which is making me kind of feel like I would want to lean the other guys. Because
Mm-hmm.
if there's someone who's going to sit from Colorado, I think it's going to be Landeskog, as
That's
opposed to
fair.
the other guys sitting. So I'm like, yes, with the upside of him getting that power play one or line one, even without the power play one, frankly,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'll put him over Marchessault or Moore, even though I know Moore's not power play one. But even like whatever those guys' situations are, it does not get better than a line one Landeskog
Mm-hmm.
comparing these three players. Provided the fact that he plays, and because of all the injury history, and I know he really wants to play in the playoffs, considering how important he is to this team and the injury history he's had for the past few years. I'm like, there is a real big asterisk there for me. So that's why, like, if you're gonna make if you're feeling confident going into next week and you want to make a pickup for next week, look, I'm not sure, but
Yep.
if you maybe, like, I don't know, maybe you wait it out a little bit with him. But yeah, the upside's higher. I just think that the floor is also lower because they may sit him.
Fair. So listen, I have no shame in putting Landeskog maybe number 8 on this list and Marchessault number 6. I feel like all these guys,
Yeah,
like we said, are in the same tier. Even the next guy up, I feel like he's in a similar tier. Do we want to get
yeah.
into it?
Let's do it at
Number 5.
number that one hit.
That one hit? Oh.
Some I feel like they're always good, like and like sometimes they're great, and sometimes they just like whoa, where did that come from?
Ooh,
And
I
it's
impressed
impressive
myself.
that it's authentic every time. It's like
I
we
don't
don't
think
have
much
it
of
on
it.
like a machine playing it.
This is
It's you.
live in the studio.
That's there you go. All right, cool. So at number 5, we have Jordan Eberle, 0.8 points per game over the last month. And you know what? He's been consistent all season. That's one thing I will say compared to the previous 3, which is why I sort of think he's in a bit of a tier higher, is that he has been good all season. Yes, it's kind of streaky,
Mhm.
but it's averaged out to be pretty strong. And considering Seattle's fighting for the playoff spot, as I mentioned, he's a huge part of their team, consistently getting 18, 19 to 21 minutes a night. I think he can be really, really good. The shots I wish were a little bit better, but still like 2.14 over the last month.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think he's a great option.
Yep. The reason why I have him above the other guys is simply put, he has one extra game. He's got 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's literally just as good as Marchessault, maybe a little less good, but he's got one extra game. He's still line 1, power play 1 on a Seattle team that's fighting for the playoffs. Similar profile, right? It's like 0.8 points per game on average, like 2 shots, some power play points. And that's pretty much what you can expect from Jordan Eberle. Like he's been on this show consistently throughout the season. I think he's definitely in a low point right now. So it's not the type of player that I'm like rushing to pick up on Sunday night or Monday morning type of thing. But I do think like if he's on your roster, if you have the option to pick him up throughout the week, like I think he could be pretty valuable because yeah, he's a little colder right now, but 7 games is such a big sample size. Like that's 2 weeks of production in a 1 game week basically for your fantasy teams, right? So a lot can happen over 7 games. And
Yeah.
at a certain point, you want more shots of the gun in your fantasy matchup, right? That's why volume is king and volume helps a lot. Just that extra game can mean the difference between winning the championship and not winning the championship. Because what if that 7th game is the one that he gets like 2 points and one's a power play point and it completely changes the tide of your matchup, right? So keeping that in the
And the
back of my
off
mind.
nights.
Yeah, and the off nights are really
And the
good
off
too.
nights. Yeah, so it's all good things, as you said. I really like this next one as well.
Yep.
At
Number 4.
At number 4, we have Jimmy Snugger out of the St. Louis Blues. This is a tier break to me.
Yeah.
I think he's like above the other ones, you know?
It's also cheating
like
a little
really,
bit because he's 42% owned, so he doesn't fit in our 40% criteria. But I felt like if he's on your waivers, like he has to be a name you're considering because of how consistent he's been for points and shots lately.
I think there's a very solid chance that by the time people are listening to this that he's back under 40% because he's already gone 2 straight games without a point. And like the last one was bad. He got straight zeros except for 1 block. So I mean he may be inconsistent, but when he's on, like I think he's significantly better than the other guys we mentioned previously. And 3.1 or 3.07 shots per game, and that like has just gotten pretty much better and better, other than the caveat of the last game. His hits aren't bad either. They're giving him the opportunities, they're giving him the minutes, and he has the pedigree to be a really good player.
Over the last month, he's at a point per game. He's averaging over 3 shots a game. Like that's an elite level player right there. The reason why like he's so low owned is because the consistency is what's missing. But we see a lot of times like these young guys really thrive at the end of the season. That's what happened to Snuggerud because he was nowhere near this point space throughout the season, right? He was a name that was thrown into the caller conversation before the year got started. I think this end of season is kind of proving why. But by a lot of people, like it wasn't just us. But I think this end of season stretch is what's really kind of like showing people that he has value. He's got really good deployment. I think St. Louis is a much bit different team now than they were like throughout the most of the season. They're trying to still win games as well, right? So I think on a week like this where you need shots and points, like there's very few options that can deliver consistently like he's been doing recently.
Yeah, I think it's a great option. And look, I mean, even if he's not under 42% owned, he's up 17% on the week as it stands. So I think it's chill.
The one thing that
non-biased opinion. What?
The one thing that I will say though is that like over the month he's at like 1 point per game, but very little power play points. Like less than 10% of those points are on the power play. So I'm not expecting much power play. Like I think it's definitely in the range of outcomes for a player like this, but the sample size has not shown that this is something that I can expect very often. So I wouldn't, but the points are there.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one at
number 3.
At number 3, one of the best looking players you can't call good looking apparently because of something that Josh explained earlier in the year that I completely forget. But anyways, Alex Wennberg of the San Jose Sharks. That was so funny when he had that reaction.
Yes.
Josh, I was like, you can't call him good looking because it was a whole thing. And it's like, wow, I hope people. And then he was like, I hope people don't do that to me.
Josh would say that.
I was like, wow, that was brilliant. Anyway, so every time I think of Alex Wennberg, I think about our hilarious exchange with that. All this to say, he's also probably having a career year at this point. So, he's more than just a pretty face. Not apparently, no, sorry. He's more than just not a pretty face or whatever you're supposed to say. 0.86 points per game over the last month. Also 0.36 power play points. Like, get out of town.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
He's been really hot on the power play. A lot of that has been.
Call him hot.
He's been very not good looking on the power play, but his production has been hot. A lot of it has come in bunches.
He's in form.
Yes, he's very much in form. For all of you soccer fans out there, Jakey keeps hating on me for saying in form, good form, bad form.
I actually like it. It's just the reason.
You hate on me. You hate on me.
No, it's because you said it, and then you were like, some people are saying that. Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. And then the next episode, you just kept saying,
because I was filtering myself before. I was like putting myself down as I can't use all my knowledge, all my vocabulary, Now I find you finally let me out. You let me bloom.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly on this.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so about Wennberg. He's been really hot for points. Let me just say it, okay? Just I can use that word, okay? Yeah. He's been really hot. He's on line 2, power play 1, PK 1. So he's on the ice for the important minutes. He's not a category coverage guy. Like his shots are gonna hover around 1.4, 1.5. The faceoff wins are there. The blocks are there. So if you're looking from that for a forward, like he's a valuable option. But it's really just the points, power play points, and the 7 games this week with the off nights. And like Jakey said earlier, like San Jose's still fighting for this playoff spot. Like, do I think they're gonna get it? No, but they're gonna try. They're not trying to lose. So that just increases the odds that, good things happen to teams like this because they're really trying to win. So I like
Yeah, I
Wennberg a
think
lot.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be down to the wire with them. Like, I don't know if you saw Celebrini's most recent game where he went absolutely
Yes.
ballistic.
Yep.
Like, this can happen. So I
Especially when you're on the same power play as a kid like that.
yeah, exactly. He's nuts. He's so good.
But the
But
main reason why
yeah,
he's at
but
number 3 is because
yeah,
he's got 7 games and he's been producing so hot lately. He's
exactly.
in great
Exactly.
form, peak form
Yeah,
actually.
he's the best for him, some
Yeah.
say. All right, let's go on to the next one.
The best number in the entire league. Number 2.
At number 2, we have the undisputed alliteration. Love when there's no ambiguity about it. The undisputed alliteration king of the Vancouver Canucks, Brock Boeser, who also has been going crazy this week.
Nuclear.
Like,
I wish I picked him up. I
absolutely
almost did
nuts.
on the Monday. I was like, he has, he started the week with a week 23 with a Monday, Wednesday off night. I was like, I could actually dabble in that. He's been hot. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't, and I regret it.
He went insane. Like on April 1st, 3 goals, 1 assist,
April
and
Fools
4
to everybody
shots.
that didn't pick him up.
Literally, literally though.
Scored a hat
That's
trick.
what it is, and it was against Colorado. So
Yeah.
I mean, an 8-6 win. That was everyone predicted that, you know.
People lost championships because they started the Colorado goalie against Vancouver, the worst team in the league, who like clinched the
Yeah.
best odds to win the first overall pick. But they beat Colorado 8-6. The fall of Mackenzie Blackwood needs to be studied. Just also the fact that like you probably if you that was like a late game. If you woke up, the next morning on April 2nd and you saw all the April 1st posts about Brock Boeser hat trick or whatever, you were like, April Fools. Nope, actually happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
been so hot. Over the last month, he's at 1.13 points per game, almost 0.5 power play points. His shot volume has been 2.5 or higher. So it's really just like everything is there right now. Points, power play points, shots, the deployment is there. Vancouver's got literally nothing to play for, so they're just trying to be spoiler out here. And for some reason, they're in good form right now. So he's got 6 games this week, but he's so high because he's one of the only players on this list that's averaging over a point per game. That's very rare, especially
Yeah.
one that you can pick up on waivers for less than 40%.
Yeah. No, like that's exactly it. He's one of those guys. It's like they're not playing for much right now, but he's also not like a superstar that they're going to consider shutting down or anything. I feel like he's just
He's
playing to
arguably one of their
play.
best players now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he is. But I'm just saying, it's like, not that they really ever do this, but for some teams, it's like if, the superstar is kind of like off at the end of the season, like they're going to
Sure.
not play him just to not risk injury. That's not going to happen to Boeser. He's been doing really well, and I'd expect that to continue for the rest of the season. Like, why not,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then. I feel like we should always end with number 2 because you're more excited to say number 2.
I'm really excited to talk about this one, though.
When they reveal the draft order, like, they do down to 3 and then they show number 1, right? So it's kind of like that, but I guess less.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's do it. At
number 1,
we have of the Seattle Kraken, Bobby McMann. He's been fantabulous. I remember, you assessed the trade, and you said it perfectly. You're like, I don't think Seattle needs another middle 6 forward to just, go into their lineup. Like, it's not going to help them as a team. And I will say, to your credit, of the last 7 games, they've won 1. So you were correct in that assessment completely, but it doesn't mean that Bobby McMann was not going to be insane, and he has been way better than I think any of us expected him to be. So yeah, if he had a better schedule these past few weeks, I would have absolutely loved him on my team. And so now that you have him with a good schedule going into week 24, they are still fighting for the playoffs. I think, yeah, he's easily the best guy to own.
And he's number 1 for a reason. Seattle's got 7 games, multiple off nights, and look at his fantasy profile. He's averaging almost 3 shots a game, almost 2 hits a game, and he's over 1 point per game. Like, there's literally nothing to hate about this guy right now. He feels like a priority pickup in almost every league format, especially if you're in a quote unquote deeper league. This is the type of guy to win to your championship if you pick him up at the right time. So, going into week 24 and everybody's playing for the chip at this point, he's the type of guy that I really want to pick up as soon as the week starts or even beforehand, right? So, literally nothing to hate about what he's been doing. The only thing that I can say is that his time of ice has been fluctuating a lot. Like, you'll see some games he'll play 20 minutes, some games he'll play like slightly less than 15, which is a pretty big discrepancy. But overall, he's just been so productive. The power play has not really been there. Like, it's not super hot. Like, Seattle has always kind of been like one of the quote unquote worst power play teams. But like the points production is like, I think he has more multi-point games than single-point games. So, you take that and you run with it. The shot volumes are, the hits are there. Like, there's really nothing to hate.
Yeah. No, you said it perfectly. I mean, like, this is the only reason that I'm kind of bummed that we don't have week 24.
Because we could pick up Bobby McMann.
Exactly.
He helped me win my quarterfinals.
There you go.
And then I had to cut him. He was a roster casualty to stream.
I feel like you had some karma there because you didn't play Jamie Benn after all he's done for you in the last game. And
you got like 14 minutes and still, came through. All the guys I benched literally had like their best game of the season, it felt like.
He got an assist, he got 5 pims, and he was like, this one's for Bobby.
Yeah. Will Cooley did the same thing. I had to bench Will Cooley on Thursday. Man scored a goal, 6 shots, 6 hits. I was like, the only thing he's been doing lately is getting 0 shots, 0 points, and like 3 hits. That's all he was doing. Yeah. But not the day I benched him, though.
Yeah, exactly. He was 1 day late on April Fool.
Yeah. Really fooled me.
Okay, cool. That was a good one. That was a really good list. I think for week 24, it's always tricky, but I feel like just beyond the player and their recent production, there is a thesis here. And for most of them, at least, it's like, I mean, I feel like the fighting for the playoffs of it all is gonna really help.
And don't forget, like, an asterisk, like, the teams that are fighting for these playoff spots are super valuable in this specific week. Like Jake has mentioned it so many times, because that they're gonna try their best to win and play all their players. The teams that are coasting that are already clinched, or the teams that are already out of it, like, they don't give $, poop. You know what I'm trying to say. But,
they don't care.
They don't care. Boat's going down for them. I feel like it's been a while since we talked about Boat, but Boat's going up for a lot of these teams trying to. Bobby McMann and Brock Boeser on the same boat, and that boat's turned into rocket ship soon. Some of these other boats are crashing down, going to the Sharks. So this was a mess. But
that's it.
Yeah.
Bobby McMann and Brock Boeser are on Artemis 3.
Yes.
But it's a boat.
Yes.
So that's what's happening.
Exactly.
I think it's Artemis 2 that just went up.
Anyway,
no they're on the next one which is going to be a boat, apparently, not a rocket ship. Heard it here first.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Management. That's it. Okay, let's get into our top 5 bangers under 20% owned. This is also just I guess small proface from me.
Yeah.
The previous list is 40%. This one's 20%, which is good. I mean, high chance that they're available in some of your leagues, depending. And you know what? I will say, even beyond, like, you got to focus on the other guys we mentioned for points leagues, 100%. But if you're in like a really deep points league, it could be worth it to take these guys, because hits are worth something, blocks are worth something. So yeah, with some of their production recently, not bad. Again, more of a last resort type vibe, but not irrelevant there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have 5 names plus 1 honorable mention. I feel like we'll list the 5 names, then we'll talk about them, because you guys know about these banger guys, right? Like, we're trying to give you guys that are going to be valuable for your entire week, but also not guys that are just like too one-dimensional, even though there is some value to that when you need to target a specific cat. So I'm going to give you 5 names. There's 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and maybe we separate them that way. So talk about some forward bangers that you guys can really look at this week. We got Eli Tolvanen of the Seattle Kraken. We have Adam Klapka of Calgary, a famous name on this podcast. Like, the guy just All he does is hit. All he does is hit, no matter what.
Yeah, I literally
and-
thought of that right away
yeah,
too.
there you go. And the last name for forwards we'll mention is Lawson Krause, who also has been, quietly, putting in some crazy performances. Like if you played against Lawson Krause, you know you did, because you look at your opponent's team and you're like, how the bleep is this guy doing this to me? For defensemen, we have White Cloud of Calgary as well. He's been a really stellar banger. He served me well during this playoff run. And Mikey Anderson, not the actress. We're talking about the defenseman for the Los Angeles
Mikey
Kings.
Madison.
You know what I mean.
Oh my god. I was like, who the? Oh,
it's easy to
that's
confuse
what you're
the
talking
two.
about.
Not only do they look alike, but their names sound alike.
Yeah, not a Nora.
Yes.
Mikey Anderson. Okay.
I've never met another guy named Mikey.
Whew.
That's his actual name, is Mikey. So all you Mikeys out there, let us know. I never met somebody called Mikey.
Never met a Mikey before?
No, that wasn't a nickname. That was his actual name.
Oh yeah, okay, but
like
yeah,
I met Mike. I met Michael.
I mean, I have a feeling like his real name is Michael, but anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Wait,
but Mikey Madison, maybe her real, I don't know, man. This is getting too complicated. We talk about way too many advanced topics on the show.
It is Michael, but he loves to go by
Michael?
Mikey. Yeah.
What's Mikey Madison's real name?
I'm older
though?
than Mikey. Dang.
You
there
are?
Really is. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that was the worst feeling when it started happening, and I was like, okay, I'm older than these guys now, and they're in the NHL.
Yeah.
And Mikey Madison's real name is Michaela.
That adds up. 2 Mikeys.
So,
Michael and Michaela. That makes sense. Yeah,
if anyone in the Discord's
real
name is Mikey, let us know.
Not your fake name, and not your stage name, your real name.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got. I guess I'll give. I mean, we could go in whichever order.
Yeah.
We'll start with the forwards, I suppose.
Yeah.
Tolvanen is, I would say, easily the most well-rounded. He kind of puts up really solid defenseman numbers as a forward, and there are those weeks where he just gets points, and that's pretty fun. So then Klapka also extremely one-dimensional, as you said. Lawson Krause, there is a Japanese dipper kind of thing, corner store.
Really?
Called Lawson's. So that's the first thing I'll say. That's super important.
I wonder if he's named after that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they got like those egg sandwiches that are famous at 7-Eleven. It's like they got them there too. Anyway,
nice, small world.
But yeah, Krause has been insane. Obviously, the PIMs have been nuts. The shots, hits, blocks. So if he has I mean, I guess the PIMS caveat came from one game, but still, if he can do that for you in week 24, that would be fantastic. And for the defenseman, look, to me, I don't really see much of a difference. I think it kind of could go either way, but the blocks are there, and that I expect to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably rather Nora over White Cloud. All right, we got a new nickname.
There we go. I love that. That actually should stay. That'd be great. Hopefully he's relevant.
It's a good one. Josh is gonna come back and be like, "Who the heck, Nora?" He's like, he's gonna be looking at his app, being like, "What are you guys talking about?"
I didn't know she played hockey as well.
That's it.
What I will say about Krause though is that, I mean, listen, you look at his game log. You saw that game against LA where he had 3 points. If you played against him that week, you're really upset about it. But he's been like quietly really good for hits and shots. And that's kind of been his thing his whole career. But now he's also playing line one with Nick Schmaltz. So, and not only Nick Schmaltz, he's also playing with Clayton Keller. So just the deployment bump right there is something to note, to be noteworthy of going into this, period of them playing so many games. So if he's got the banger, archetype to him as well, attached with like the increased deployment upcoming for this week, I think like he could be one of those sneaky guys that if you're in one of those deeper leagues, he could be a valuable pickup. And yeah, Mikey Anderson, I think he's more well-rounded in terms of like having like a double in hits and blocks for defensemen. That's
Yeah.
really good. White Cloud, I think, has the higher ceiling for blocks, and I really wanted to focus on the blocks for these defensemen because I feel like hits is way easier to stream, right? Like there's so many guys that average like 4 hits plus, like a Klapka or something that you could just pick up and get the hits that you need. But blocks, it's hard to find guys that are like valuable at blocks and other stuff. So guys like White Cloud, guys like Anora, Mikey Anderson are really valuable for your fantasy leagues. The type of guys that you pick up early in the week and you know you're just going to get the quantity from those categories.
Yeah. I guess one more name I kind of have to mention,
Yeah.
and this is sort of regardless of the schedule. Sean Walker is under. My bad.
What?
He's under 40. He's
Yeah.
under 40.
Yeah, he's got to be under 20.
That's true. And the honorable mention,
Yes.
though, Jack McBain.
Mendoza.
So yeah, he's been fantastic. He's not technically on this list because he's day-to-day right now.
Yeah, he got
Like,
hurt
he's
last
been
game
a
and
monster.
he didn't finish it. But if he was healthy and we were sure he was healthy, like he's the type of guy that like he's also averaging over 4 hits a game. He can get you points. He can get you some face-off wins, some shots. Very well-rounded. So I would take him over Klapka, let's say, if I knew he was going to be healthy. Absolutely. And with these other guys, it'd be close.
Yes, okay. Well said. Let's move on to the top 3 quantity goalies. These are under 40% owned again. I'll list them off. You got Kevin Lankinen. This is tough. I get it. I do get it, but I got it.
There's not a lot of goalies that are less than 40% owned.
That's true. We got Freddie Anderson and Connor Ingram. The reason it's tough for me, and then we'll go in order, is because he is just not good, and I don't understand what. Like, I never knew this rod thing translated to goalies too, but it does.
It's everywhere. It's an epidemic.
Gosh. Seriously. Okay, let's get into your namesake, Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I do got to preface here. Like, it's week 24. We're going to see a lot of crazy things happen with goalies. You're going to see maybe some guys that are not even in the NHL right now get brought up and get some games because teams have nothing to play for, or, you know, they just want to give some young guys a chance to play. So it's kind of rare to find a guy that's like not really well owned, reliable for starts, and is not just going to like ruin your categories the whole time. So Lankinen, I mean, started for Vancouver, the worst team in the league. He'll get you the games. Will it be a lot of wins? Absolutely not. Will it be good volume? Yes, it will. And you're just hoping the quality doesn't like ruin you. I know it's not a glowing recommendation, but at this point, less than 40% owned goalies are hard to come by, the ones that are going to get you like consistent starts. And it's a 7-game week, right? So maybe you don't have to pick up a goalie that you need to hold the whole week or something like that. And maybe you can just like pick and choose, you know, goalies that will win you your matchup. Because if you're in the finals right now, you probably have cemented goalies, and it's just about kind of picking the ones that can win you your matchup with extra volume or a good quality start, right? So these names are worth mentioning, but I don't think they're going to be game breakers for you. Jiggy has Freddie Anderson hatred, so him and Brandon Bussey have been alternating stars here and there, and Carolina's still a good team. They can play spoiler. I will say the save percentage will hover around 900 or just below. It's kind of been like that consistently. They just don't have the save. They don't get enough shots against to have higher save percentages, because if they let in 2 goals, it's never going to be 900 pretty much.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they're doing this. Like, Bussey's had a great year, and he's been playing like not his best.
He's fell off really like the last month and a half has been really rough.
But like, look, take the last 3 games, and he's won all 3, an 8.85, an 8.95, and then a 9.20. Okay,
Yeah.
After the 9.20, you think they'd play them again against the team that he demolished, right? It was Columbus. He got a 9.20, and then Freddie Anderson plays the next game, and they win 5-1.
Yep.
Anderson got 9 saves on 10 shots.
Yep.
Like I mean, come on, yeah, okay, they're good, and he'll get you the win, but I'm just like, I'm just
like that the whole
season. But he it's really since the Olympic break that they're just like, all right, no, Brandon, you've done super well, but I decided I don't like alliteration anymore, so you're just not gonna play, and we're gonna play Freddie Anderson, and it's been very questionable, and they're giving him like games in succession. So look, I don't get it. Anyway, whatever it is, it's happening, even if I don't like it, and I mean, I definitely pick him up. So
And the last goalie worth mentioning is Connor Ingram. Listen, the starter for Edmonton, he's had some really good games in the recent past, but it's like very rare you're able to pick up a goalie like this that's only currently 28% owned. His last game
yeah,
was a shutout, and then they played Tristan Jarry the next game, which was not a back to back. So they were like, okay, you just got a shutout. How about we give Tristan Jarry the next game? Jarry didn't like completely poop the bed either. So at least there's that. Like Edmonton's really just like goaltending away from being a Stanley Cup contender when they're all healthy. I mean, they're still missing Draisaitl, but they've won 4 games in a row, and you're able to pick up the quote unquote starter for this team for your championship week potentially. I think he's the only guy that I would, if he's available on waivers, and I didn't have like a sure thing goalie situation, I would go and I would pick him up because Edmonton doesn't have the best schedule for week 24, but the fact that I can bank on Ingram getting most of the starts. Um, on a team like this that's winning games, I would be significantly interested. Um, and I don't know if you have anything to add, Jakey, but we do have some honorable mentions that I want you guys to keep an eye on.
yeah. Like I just in general, I mean, like he is the clear number one on this list. Would you take him over a Binnington who's at 48% owned?
Yeah, 100%.
You would? Okay.
Bennington is splitting starts for St. Louis. St. Louis does have 6 games this upcoming week, and also you have to keep in mind that like a lot of games are back to back. So there's some goalies that have like necessarily 2 back to backs, but you have to hold them for those back to backs being far apart type of thing, and that's not always fun because it feels like a dead roster spot most of the week. So
Yeah.
I don't like doing that per se. Whereas for Edmonton, like their last game of the season is against Colorado. Like, what does that Colorado team look like? I don't know. But they also play, they have a back to back with Utah and San Jose. I think Edmonton can win both of those games, and then they play the Kings, who the Kings will be trying to win, but I feel like Edmonton's always got their number. So
Yeah. Speaking of the Kings, are you dropping Kemper for Ingram?
for Ingram, I think at this point you have to. Like it's the fall of
Yeah.
Kemper also needs to be studied. Him and Blackwood are besties. But
That's it.
LA has arguably the easiest strength of schedule going into this week 24. And it's like, okay, we have to talk about it too because Forsberg has been kind of like saving their butt recently.
I wanted
Um,
to do a segue for that.
there
Like,
you
I
go. It
mean,
was
like,
perfect.
I'd
You set it
rather
up.
the,
You set
the
it up.
segue was complete. I was like, "Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? Yeah, you
Yeah.
did it."
I mean, I can read your thought process.
Yeah, that's it. We finished each other's sandwiches. Okay.
Yeah, we do. Um,
Continue.
Speaking of sandwiches, I mean Anton Forsberg, he's just he's just sandwiching those pucks in that crease, baby.
Nice.
But no, I mean, listen, the Kings are desperate. They're in desperado mode, trying to make the playoffs right here, and Kemper is just not getting it done. Like they just lost against Nashville in the shootout. To me, listen, we're recording this before the games on Saturday, but if um, if Forsberg gets the next game, like we don't know if he's going to play that game or yet or not, but if he plays that game, I feel like it's just the tide has been changing, and unless he poops the bed in that game, I think they might roll with him for the rest of the season. And that's why I'm saying keep an eye on Forsberg. I can't, in good conscience, recommend him right now with the information I have right now, but with what we've seen, like he's played better than Kemper. Kemper just lost against Nashville, and LA's desperate, so I would not be surprised if they roll Forsberg and say gives us the best chance to win right now. And if he becomes a starter, and with the schedule that LA has, I would be really interested. Like I'd pick him up over Freddie Anderson, over Lankinen, and it'd be close between him and Connor Ingram for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got another one more honorable mention
Yeah.
here as well.
Yeah, Carter Hart of the Vegas Golden Knights. He came back. I know a lot of people in Discord were asking me questions on if you're picking up Carter Hart and if we're playing him. I said, listen, I do like Vegas to be a better team. They just did a coaching change, new coach bump. Aiden Hill has been questionable for most of the season. They don't like what they've had from Akira Schmid. Carter Hart, they went and got him for a reason. He was awful before he got hurt. So I don't necessarily think he's a great goalie right now, but he's on a great team that's going to win games. I know they've been in a slump, but new coach bump, they might be turning it around. So keep an eye on it. I don't know right now if he's going to take over the starting job from Aiden Hill, but he came back in the first game he played. He won, even though it was a shaky start. Maybe he gets more
Yeah.
starts the rest of the season. Like he's the guy that they kind of like run to the playoffs with. It's just monitor the situation, but he's a name that might stand out.
It's a weird one because if it was the same coach, I feel like I would not be as interested.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what,
Mhm.
Cassidy's kind of defaulted to Hill all season, and like I also, I
When
mean, I
he's
know
healthy.
Hart had, yeah, exactly, like Hart had the injury too, right?
Yeah.
So when Hart was healthy, I know it was kind of a question mark, but at that point, for most or all of it, if I remember correctly, Hill was not in the picture.
Hmm.
So this is kind of the first time they're both there, and with the new coach, like,
Yeah.
I mean, look, if he gets the next game and does play well, then I'm definitely interested.
Vegas was bad. Like they were losing a lot of games. Like they got to a point where they were like, okay, there's a chance they might not make the playoffs. Like realistically, nobody was even talking about it. But if you look at the standings, like it was close.
It was.
Now it looks like a little bit better for them. But it all happened so fast. It was like, oh yeah, Carter Hart he might return from injury soon, and the team definitely wants to give him some games before the end of the season. Then it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, he's starting the next game. And we're like, okay, so it's happening right now. It happened. They
Yeah.
ended up winning, but he got a lot of goal support in that game. So take that with a grain of salt. But I'm just curious to see if he gets the next one. And if he does, I'm actually like, okay, listen, like he might be an option for you in your fantasy leagues in week 24.
All right. Now we have the top 3 quality goalies.
This requires a huge asterisk because I feel like everybody has already seen how goalies are playing back to backs now. It's the end of the season, and you feel like you can't necessarily rely on a back to back giving you split starts anymore. If a team is fighting for the playoffs or still in that picture, it feels like they're likely to play the same guy on the back to back if it gives them the best chance to win. We've seen it with Swayman, we saw it with Sorokin, we've seen it with Greaves in the past. So just really, really monitor the situation. But these back to backs have way more risk now than earlier this year. So I
Yeah,
feel like I just need
no,
to make
well
sure
said.
that people know.
So I kind of think that this is interesting. Okay, I'll list them off,
Hmm.
and then we could kind of talk about like which games we think they'll get. We got Jacob Fowler, Artur Shilovs, and Alex Nedeljkovic.
Hmm.
So okay, the way I see this is that the Habs are the most sure thing, I think, out of all these teams. And it's kind of bold, I would say, to
Hmm.
say that they're more secure than Pittsburgh, but I do think that they are,
Well, I think they
especially
are.
because I think they are too. So I'm glad we're on the same page there. Pittsburgh has sort of tried to go to Skinner more.
Yeah, and it
It's
hasn't
it's
worked.
been yeah, it has not worked. It and like it's crazy because when they do the one game Skinner plays well, and then when Skinner gets 2 games in a row, it's happened twice.
Yeah.
Not good. Not
Hmm.
good. So I think that they're in quite the situation. Now, as far as things go, I think that if you're depending on one to get a start, it's gonna be Fowler, I think,
Hmm.
because at the same time they they are fighting for a playoff spot, but they also kind of want to make sure that they like rest Dobesh, who I think is a
Hmm.
shoe in to start in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Fowler may low key be my favorite because of the
Yeah.
guarantee. What do you what
No,
do you
I
think?
I feel the same, and it really just depends on like you're not picking these guys up in advance, right? You're picking them up either the same day that you know they're confirmed playing on a back to back, or the day before in anticipation of getting the game on the back to back. So
Yeah,
you're never making these as in advance, and there's so many back to backs in this next 10-day stretch because there's so many games left in the season. So there's a variety of options, and I think these were the ones that I kind of like targeted for the matchups. I do like Fowler. If there's Montreal has a back to back where they play either Columbus or the Islanders, and both teams are choking their playoff spots right now. And Fowler has been decent. The Habs are a great team, arguably one of the best teams in the league right now. So I'd be confident in Fowler's ability to play well in those games. And then
yeah.
Shilovs, listen, unless Pittsburgh really falls out of the picture, it feels like they're just trying to find one of these goalies to run with it. I still think they're going to keep alternating. So on a back to back, I expect both, Skinner and Shilovs to get one of these games. Shilovs is less than 40% owned. Skinner is like 43 or 44% owned. So he's not a consideration here. But both have not been great. So it's kind of just like, hoping that you get a good performance out of them. They play the Caps on a back to back. So the Caps are not the most threatening team right now either. Like they're not really in the playoff picture right now. So Pittsburgh could win those games, and Pittsburgh wants to win games too. So I'm happy about that. But this last one I think is my favorite. So Nedeljkovic has a back to back. I think it's the last 2 days of the games of the season where they play Chicago and Winnipeg, and San Jose is in must win territory. Like it might be that they need to win out to make the playoffs. And Askarov just came back from injury. He looked good, but Nedeljkovic has been like really good as well recently. So I think they split that back to back. And I would not be surprised if Ned has a really good game against either of those teams.
I guess the reason that I was like for quality purposes still more on the Fowler train is because Ned could have a bad game.
Yeah.
Like under 700.
Listen, they're all
bad, you know what I
susceptible
mean?
to that. I would say Fowler's definitely playing on the best team. But I think his matchups are a little harder because he's playing against
Yeah.
desperate teams. Which I don't think
Yeah.
Chicago and Winnipeg are desperate teams. Like maybe I think Winnipeg is probably going to be eliminated from the playoffs at that point. And Chicago is just playing with house money. They're just a fun team.
Right. Right. I think the thing with Nedeljkovic is that he'll get the starts. Like I really do think that Fowler's going to get 1, maybe 2, whereas I would say Nedeljkovic is, I think he could get 3. I don't think that's crazy.
No, I mean they have 7
But
games this upcoming week. Like he could get 3 or 4. Like I think they split the back-to-backs, and then besides
Yeah.
that, I think they're gonna run with the goalie that gets them the most chances of wins. As we speak, they're currently on a 4-game win streak, and both goalies have played during that stretch. Askarov just came back from injury, so I think it's just like you monitor and you make sure that you know the goalie you're picking up is actually going to play on the day you want him to. And
Yeah.
listen, at this point, we're all crossing our fingers and hoping for some good quality from these guys.
Yeah. I
But
usually
anything can happen.
After we cover the goalie section, I'm usually like, I really like the quantity guys more than
Yeah.
the quality guys. I think that this is a different story, because this is like this is that week where anything could
But
happen.
guys, this is why we say go 0G in your drafts. Like goalies that have been really good the whole season can have off weeks, and that can ruin your whole league. So might as well not invest your top picks on them. Like we saw Ottinger be doo-doo and get people eliminated from the playoffs in the semis and the quarterfinals, and then this upcoming game he just got a shutout, and helped a lot of people out, right? But he was like so bad before that people didn't even want to start him. Then you have Kemper, who has been so bad that nobody's starting him, and then he gets a shutout, and then you're like, oh my god, yeah, Kemper, and then he plays again and he sucks. So it's just kind of like how are we supposed to be rational about any of this?
It's too crazy, but it's so fun.
Yeah. Sorokin lets 6 goals in, and then they play him again on the back-to-back, and he gets a shutout on the back-to-back. So you can't make this up.
I know. It's nuts. Okay, thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 24 waivers episode. I like it. I'm not in Week 24, as we spoke about. I don't have any leagues in Week 24. Do you have any leagues in Week 24?
Yeah, I'm in a few Yahoo public leagues just for fun and to keep a pulse on how those leagues look like, and those are all Week 24 championships. So I think honestly in every league I'm in there, which is not many, I'm probably going to be a shoe-in for the championship. So hopefully I take those home, because I'm probably going to lose against Jakey, and look at my non-existent watch, but you can see my tan line for my watch.
Yeah. If you had your existent watch, and if it happened to be able to see NHL scores, you would know that Vladar is not getting a shutout right now. So.
Oh no, he's only like winning 3-1 against the Islanders.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
exactly. Not 3-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need a shutout. You just needed a good game.
I could have definitely used the shutout, Mr. Shorthanded Point on Monday.
Yeah, and you got a shorthanded point yesterday.
But you got one on Monday.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, stay tuned for the next episode where you'll find out the result of what happened, how it happened.
Or the Discord, because I'm going to be sad in there.
You're doing the Josh thing.
We've all been doing the Josh thing the whole year.
I know.
It's just Josh takes it to a different level.
I know, but like it works. I think it's.
Well, he got bounced in the first round, so didn't work for him this year.
I guess you can't go overboard. You know what I mean? You got to be like,
there's a line.
Cautiously optimistic.
Find it.
What?
There's a line, and you got to find it.
That's it. All right. This one was Week 24 waivers. Thank you to everybody for listening. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Rate us 5 stars if you enjoyed, which how could you not? It's the best two-hosted banger match of the Fantasy Hockey Podcast.
Exactly.
The Discord, we talk about it all the time. Make sure to join the community over there. We're well over 300 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty great place to be. But the more the merrier. So definitely come on in, and it's been really fun interacting with you guys all year. Especially Kevin's done an amazing job at that. So thank you, Kevin. All the socials are in the podcast description. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, the other one. You know what I mean?
All of the other ones. We're there.
Yeah. MySpace?
No, we're actually not on MySpace, unfortunately. Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe next season.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. But I feel like that doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know.
It's like Club Penguin. It had its era, and what an era it was.
All right. Are you going to be Ernie, or am I going to be Ernie?
I can be Ernie. I'll do my best Ernie impression.
Right. Take it away, Ernie.
Ba-na-na-na-no. Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo! Woo!
That was a strong
That was good?
one. That was great.